Hey, it's Monday. A muggy, shitty. Really, I feel like I'm in Vietnam. How are you, folks? Welcome to the show. Dirty Monday. We have a new phone number. Let me get that out right away. It's no longer 888. It's now 833-599-NICK. 833-599-6425. Why the change? Well, I was trying to save myself a little money. The other company was porking me right in the ass. I think I explained it on a previous show. They said, unlimited, and then they sent a bill saying, you're almost at your cap. And I said, cap this, you fucking dink. That's how I talk to people in customer service who try to fuck me in the ass. No need for niceties. Hi, how are you? Yes, I didn't notice on my bill. You're fucking me in the ass. And I'm changing companies. Well, what could we do to it? Nothing. You're lying sacks of shit. Okay, so fucking die in your sleep. Thank you. 888. No! 833-599-6425. Tonight, tour dates at nickdip.com, but I'll read them anyways. Kill some time. Tonight, the Comedy Cellar, the original Comedy Cellar on McDougal Street. Haven't been down there on that stage. I got to say, 2.5 years? 3, maybe? I don't know. It's where I spent every night of my life for about 20 years. And after a while, it feels like you're staying back in school. It's like, okay, enough of this shit already. Watching people come in that are unknown, like Aziz Ansari and Amy Schumer, and all of a sudden they're playing Madison Square Garden. So I'm not sitting at this table anymore. Is there room in the turlet? So that's tonight and tomorrow night I'm there, McDougal Street, the Comedy Cellar. Wednesday night, right around the corner, the Village Underground, part of the Comedy Cellar. Saturday, September 1st, the Fat Black Pussycat, right around the corner also. Saturday, September 8th, the Fat Black Pussycat. Then Friday and Saturday, September 14th and 15th, Arlington Draft House, Arlington, Virginia. One of my favorite gigs. Friday, September 21, Orpheum Theater, Flagstaff, Arizona. Saturday, September 29th, the Fat Black Pussycat, New York City. Come on out and support live comedy, could you? It's not going to be around much longer for guys like me if you've been reading the news. What's on the show today? All kinds of stuff. We got Alex Jones being banned from Apple, YouTube, and Spotify, and Google, and everywhere else because apparently he doesn't fit what they think is, they call him a hater. It's coming, folks. It's coming. And I'll tie that in with a movie I saw this weekend, Death of a Nation, Dinesh D'Souza's movie. It was tremendous. I knew most of what was in it because I sort of study a little bit of this shit. But I'll talk about that in a few minutes. It was really great. And I suggest Meryl Streep and Robert De Niro and all the other fucking movie stars who love film, go out and see it and see what you're supporting, you dumb fucks. All right. A lot of cursing today. I guess we won't be monetizing this one, huh? But what's the point of the internet? I get in trouble on satellite radio. Now I'm on the internet. Why don't you just put me in a corner in my bedroom? I'm getting damn close, actually. What else? Excuse me. Also, a lot on Antifa. They were in Berkeley yesterday, Portland last weekend, Portland this weekend. They're called Antifa, Antifascists. And what they are is, it's hilarious. They're anti-fascists. And they go, if you don't agree with us, we'll bash your head in and fucking rape your daughter. You fascists. That's what they think. It's priceless. Irony at a base level. But Red Sox, I'm not going to get too cocky. But we'll touch on them after what they did to the Yankees. In the NFL Hall of Fame game, they're still trying to make it the faggiest fucking league in the world. Now, if you put on your helmet and it's pointing towards somebody, you get a $200 fine. And if you drop your helmet and hit somebody in the foot, you're kicked out of the league for 1.5 years. It is hilarious what they're ruining the greatest. Well, it's another takedown of what we love, what's American, and it's all intertwined. 833-599-6425. Ryan, let's say hello to Ryan, the Twinks. Ryan and Jason, a couple of young white fellas. There they are. I can see Ryan was at the beach again today.
I was outside doing yard work all day.
With what, a beekeeper's outfit on? Jesus Christ, you look like Keith Richards when he had a blood transplant. You make fucking Jason look like Manute Bol. I mean, look at fucking.
It's because he's bright red.
He's a little red. He blushes easy, but good to have. What did you guys do this weekend? Anything? I know what you did, Ryan. We're going to play right. Ryan had a date, and the girl showed up at his apartment a little fucked up. I don't know. I don't know. Apparently she had like 3 O'Douls, but she couldn't handle her booze. And it reminds me when I smoke pot. Let's take a look at Ryan's date showing up. Ryan, you should be clicking that thing as I'm fucking setting it up, you pale son of a bitch.
On drugs? Man, listen. Tell me what's wrong. No, I just... What's wrong? I was getting hot. I never seen that in the I just went...
Looking for Ryan.
She has to be on Flocka.
Oh, she's going to bang him.
Yeah, she's on Flocka. It has to be Flocka.
My mom was scared.
Shut up.
No bleeding. She just looks like she's on Flocka.
She's not on Flocka. She's
Flocka.
She's on Diet Pepsi. So I'm guessing you got laid, Ryan. She looked like she was in the mood. Does anybody shoot anything in portrait anymore?
Nah, everyone takes their phone and they hold it up. They don't understand.
That's how fucking ignorant. I mean, I'm completely retarded when it comes to, even I know after watching, well, I was going to say World Star Hip Hop or whatever it is, every one of their videos is the same way.
It's the same way.
It's fucking ignorant people that don't know what they're doing. They're beating the shit out of each other. This brought to you by Rum Yum Yum. I got to go into the fucking city a couple hours from now. It's about, I'd say, 117% humidity up here in the woods where it never gets humid. I can't wait. I can't wait to get down on fucking 3rd Street in the Village, where even in November it's like 96 just because of the humanity. Place makes me sick. Only neighborhood you see guys 40 years old on skateboards with book bags and shit. Ugh, they make me want to shit blood. Anyways, let's get to it. Yeah, real quickly. Facebook and Apple, YouTube, Spotify. They banned Alex Jones. You know him from InfoWars. There he is. Nice looking fella. Look, the guy's a conspiracy theorist. Some of his shit, I'm like, this guy is fucking totally insane and nuts. Like the Sandy Hook shit, I think he's really out there. But that's not the point, is it? And that's not even why they're banning him from... It's coming, folks. The Zuckerbergs, the Jack Dorseys of the world that run Twitter and Facebook and shit, they're the ones who are going to decide what's hate and what's not. And I saw Death of a Nation, and it explained it beautifully. What did I do with my... I'll get to that in a second. How Hitler and everybody else, every other fascist in the world, the first thing that goes is free speech. But, yeah, all but one of the... well, this is Facebook, Apple, YouTube, Spotify. This is them. This is what they have to say to Alex Jones. What was that?
Thank you.
He's not going to shut up. All but one of the major content platforms have banned the American conspiracy theorist, Alex Jones, as the companies race to act in the wake of Apple's decision to remove 5 podcasts by Jones and his InfoWars website. By the way, I was on InfoWars. I was interviewed by none other than Roger Stone. You know who he is? The very flamboyant, eccentric... he was one of Trump's right-hand guys, and he interviewed me. He loved my radio show on Sirius. He was actually subpoenaed to testify before Congress about Julian Assange and the WikiLeaks and all that other shit. So I love that he interviewed me on InfoWars. But the point being is Facebook unpublished 4 pages run by Jones for repeated violations of community standards. Let's quit pretending we're a community. Facebook covers what? 3 billion people? It's hardly a fucking community. It's half the planet, all right? I'm sick of the word community. Aren't you fellas from the white community? A little bit. YouTube terminated Jones' account over him repeatedly appearing in videos despite being subject to a 90-day ban from the website. Yeah, I'm sure that's why. Ostensibly, that's why. And Spotify removed the entirety of one of Jones's podcasts for hate content. Nice to know people that run Spotify are going to decide what's hateful and what's not. It's coming, folks. Civil war is on the rise. Following that suspension, a Facebook spokesperson said, and we should believe them, right? Because more content from the same pages has been reported to us. Upon review, we have taken it down for glorifying violence, which violates what, folks? Our graphic violence policy. And using dehumanizing language. Here's where we get to the core. This is really why they're banning them. using dehumanizing language to describe people who are transgender, Muslims, and immigrants, which violates our hate speech policies. Hey, I got a question, and I understand corporations it's a corporation, and they make the rules, and if you don't want to play by the corporation's rules that you're working under, that they can do this. But at what point does the corporations trump the First Amendment? And I'll say it again, there's no such thing as fucking hate speech, okay? That was created so they can do shit like this, okay? Fucking Hitler did it. Started banning speech. Now, Alex Jones, some of him, he seems fucking insane, but that's so what? So what? And I don't care how he refers to Muslims and immigrants and LGBT. That's fucking free speech. Okay? I know, well, Google doesn't want it on their platform. Okay, but where does it stop, the slippery slope? Unfucking believable. We are headed for disaster. The spokesman noted that despite the focus on Jones' role in spreading conspiracy theories around events such as 9/11 attacks and Sandy Hook school shooting, none of the violations that spurred today's removals were related to this. It was about him, using what they call, hey, are we going to let the Zuckerbergs of the world, the fucking little nerdy people who were bullied, and I brought this up, I think, on Tough Crowd 15 years ago, whenever we went off the air, 12 years ago, that what they do is anything they disagree with, they call hate. I remember calling somebody out on Tough Crowd that anything they disagree with, they label, you're a hater. That was the term back then. You're a hater. No matter what, whether you're talking baseball, fucking the weather. I like it in the winter. Well, I love the summer, so you're a hater. And it's coming to fruition. But Google, Facebook, they have too much power. Break these fuckers up into a million little pieces. I'd be nervous if I was Zuckerberg or Dorsey or whatever. I'd really be fucking nervous. Because I'm hoping somebody's going to stand up and say enough is enough. But, I'm just saying. I should go to, let me dovetail into Death of a Nation. I went to see it. That was Dinesh D'Souza's movie that opened this weekend, and it was based on his book, The Big Lie. I forget the title of the book, but went up to I don't go to the movies unless I can find a theater in the middle of nowhere with less than 4 people in it, and I did just that up in, that's how I am. I'm always sitting in front of the guy that's eating broken glass. I had a theory about movie food, that replace it with quiet food. Replace the popcorn with string beans, cooked. I don't want no crunch in it, no fucking, and no milk duds. Anyways, me and the wife went up and saw it. It was Fish Kill or one of those kills way up in northern Westchester. Perfect. We walk in, there's 3 people in the theater. So, I don't know if he had a big opening. I didn't read about any of the numbers on on Drudge. Let's show the trailer to Death of a Nation.
Lincoln was elected to unite a country and stop slavery. Democrats smeared him, went to war against him, assassinated him. Now their target is Trump.
America was never great! Slavery, genocide, and war!
Donald Trump wins the presidency. So help me God.
They say he's killing America.
There will be a vote.
Oh, shut it.
They say he's a racist.
This was a white lash.
And a fascist. Who are the real racists?
Northern Democrats had conspired together with Southern Democrats to take away the fruit of other people's labor.
Who are the real fascists?
That was Harry Reid.
Both Mussolini and Hitler set up and ran welfare states.
This was done by the do-gooders, the liberals, the people who wanted to improve society.
Which party attacks our free speech?
How dare you speak against the Villa?
Our religious
Meeting
liberty
Zuckerberg.
and our personal safety. A nation dies when its people are not free. We too must fight for freedom.
Nancy Pelosi at the last
regardless
DNC
of the
convention.
price we pay.
An end in terror is preferable to a terror with no end.
The stakes could not be higher. We're talking about America, the greatest nation on earth. Lincoln saved America for the first time. It's now up to us to save America a second time.
It was good. It was very good. And he talks about how Lincoln was in the same position, like as Trump. Just he had to stand up and do what he thought was right. He was catching all kinds of shit from everybody, and all kinds of flack. And they wanted to take him out, and eventually they did. That was kind of creepy when they show Wilkes Booth. So that's no exaggeration. But the whole movie connects. It connects who the real fascists are and the real racists, and how they've turned it around. It was always the Democrats. They were the party of the Ku Klux Klan. And FDR was a big fan of Mussolini. He saw how things were running in Italy under Mussolini and sent his guys over there. They thought it was and came back and bingo. He started implementing these plans and there's a funny scene where they do a recreation, obviously, but they show Nazis, and this actually took place. They were trying to decide, right before they were going to make Jews the scapegoats for the Holocaust, they were sitting around, the Nazis, arguing, well, how do we decide who's a Jew? Do both the parents have to be Jewish? And they look to the Klan and the Southern Democrats in the United States, who had this one drop theory. If you had one drop of black in you, that meant you were black. That was too radical for the fucking Nazis. The progressive movement in the United States back then was too radical for the Nazis. And Woodrow Wilson was a big fan of Birth of a Nation, if you've seen that film, and he showed it to his cabinet members, and they went out and they turned urban areas into plantation states, putting people on welfare and whatnot, and it's just unbelievable who the real racists are. The people that are calling you a bigot and a fucking racist. And it's all documented. He does a lot better job than, Michael fucking Fatso Moore. But it was really interesting. I suggest you go. He connects the dots, and he's very concise about it. And it was good. But like I said, I was worried there was only 5 people there. Again, I'm in a town called. I think I was in Peekskill. I mix up my kills. Fishkill, Peekskill. There's a bunch of kills up there, right, fella?
Yeah, Fishkill's a little farther north
than Peekskill.
Peekskill seems more reasonable.
Yeah, it was about. Anyways, that's the only way I'll go see a movie. But go see it and see who the real fascists and fucking racists are. And Hitler was writing love letters to Margaret Sanger, the fucking eugenics genius who wanted to, control the population through abortion, especially the minority population. And Hitler and a few other fascists got their ideas from. They were writing her fucking love letters. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And then the left was smart enough to say all this shit that they're calling us on, and rightly so, we're going to turn it around, which they did, because they grabbed hold of all the institutions, whether it was education or, television, fucking Hollywood, and they got a hold of all that, the mainstream media. And I think it was Hitler or one of Hitler's henchmen that said, I think it was a guy named Gentili. There was an Italian guy in prison who was like a real Marxist, and he said, I think it was him, he said, if you tell a lie, a big lie, often enough, people will believe it, which Hitler grabbed onto. And that's all the fucking left is doing in this country. That's all they're doing. They've been labeling Republicans racist and bigots since I was in high school. Reagan was a fucking Nazi. It's the same shit. Unfortunately, there's enough dumb people that buy that because they get all their news from the fucking mainstream media and whatnot. Go see the movie is the bottom line. It was really friggin' good. It was tremendous. Go see it high like I did. I smoked a bit. No, I'm kidding. I don't do that. But he does good work. Dinesh. I've seen him on Bill Maher a few times, I believe, so I wonder if he'll have him on for this. But I suggest, again, that you Hollywood people are big film buffs. I know you, Kathy Griffin, you wouldn't wander in and fucking maybe learn something. She is the dumbest broad on the planet. I look at her fucking tweets, and I just want to, I wish her head was holding her head, covered in fucking feces and vomit. And I used to like her. I mean, every time we met in L.A., you know, she was nice enough to me, but I can see it was all a facade now. Let's go to, where the fuck is my mouse here? Jimmy in Kentucky wants to talk about censorship. Jimmy, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing? I love the show, Nick.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, I was watching a rerun. I'm watching you on YouTube, and I was watching a rerun show, and Don A was pretty much saying the same thing. But I want to ask you, what do you think as far as, like, where freedom of speech is becoming, like, not very popular? I mean, what is it? They get to say whatever they want to say, but when we say what we want to say, it becomes racist and bigoted and things of that nature. Why do you think that's happening, and when do you think it started?
Well, I don't know when it started, but I know why it's happening. All the people that control, whether you're talking about the mainstream media or now the internet, social media, which is even bigger because it gets all the young dumb fucks who buy into this. All those people that run those, the Googles of the world and the Facebooks, they're all fucking lefties. They're all hardcore Hillary fans. And they're doing just what fucking Hitler did. The first thing that went was, and it always is before fascism sets in, is censorship, and they crush any dissent. And that's all that's happening right now. That's what you're watching. It's in slow motion. And Dinesh said that, like, the right labels it as political correctness, but that's kind of an innocuous term. It's more insidious than that. So, but that. You know, here's the question, Jimmy. I don't know how, and I asked somebody this, how did they get their claws into the media first? And I asked a guy from the Media Research Center, which is kind of and I don't remember his answer, so it must not have been that compelling. I was filling in for Dennis Miller. Yeah. But that's why why it's taken hold. I mean, they run television, they run Hollywood, they control the message, and now Facebook, Google, all these elitist a-holes that lean left in their politics are going to tell you and me what we can and can't say, and they're going to label anything that they disagree with you as hate. And, that's it.
That's bullshit. I think it's all these goddamn Zuckerbergs.
Jimmy, say that again. Jimmy, say that again.
I'm sick and tired of all these goddamn
start with bullshit.
It's bullshit.
You sound Larry the Cable Guy. All right, Jimmy.
White power.
Thanks for the call, buddy.
White power.
White power. Now you're getting cuckoo. I'm not with that white power shit either. Don't get cuckoo. White power. That's the big fucking myth. But do you know the Nazis literally were taking their cues from the Klan on how the Klan was doing shit? And their plantations and stuff, and Lincoln's big beef wasn't about race and black and white. What his big beef was, as far as slavery goes, he said, "You toil and work all day, and then I take the benefits and the rewards." That's what was under his skin. It wasn't about race. That's the first point they make in the movie, which is true. And I'm so sick of hearing that, what's his name is an authoritarian, Trump. Like Dinesh D'Souza said, if that was true, he wouldn't be getting reamed every day in the mainstream media. He'd shut it down, wouldn't he? Yes, he would. So go see it and see who the real evil fucks are. And this show is all about that because it dovetails right into what's going on in Portland this weekend, in Berkeley. But before we do that, I want to take a little breather. Here's a little something to cleanse your palate. As you know, I'm from the Boston area, and Yankees came to town, 5.5 down, and they were looking to close the gap to 1.5. And, they call it the lost weekend in New England. And I have never enjoyed, it's the first time I've masturbated during a ball game. Well, when I was home. I did it at the park once, but it was under the bleachers. Well, I'm telling you, ever watch girls softball? Let's show a few highlights from the weekend real quick.
Swinging a bouncing ball to deep third, backhanded by Andujar. Long throw and drop. And here comes Jackie Bradley, and he scores the tying run. Here comes Renda. He scores. And Andrew Benintendi sends us. And the Red Sox are 9.5 up on the Yankees.
I don't want to get too cocky. I'll be honest with you. Now, that was tremendous. I was hoping for they blew it in the ninth inning? Chapman had a meltdown. He got the first guy, walked a couple, and then all hell broke loose. And yes, I realized there was no Aaron Judge, who I absolutely love, by the way. Blasphemous to say, he's a Red Sox. And no Sanchez. And I'll be honest with you, I don't want to meet the fucking Yankees in the playoffs, as great as this was and shit, because you're in a short series, you know what can happen. But I had to get that out there because my radio agent, Tony Burton, is a super Yankees fan, and he was texting me. He went up there to see the ball game, took his kids instead of me. That's a typical agent. Who's more important? Are your kids putting fucking potatoes on the table? Wait a minute, I'm not actually making any money for him. I'm doing this on my own. He got me the serious. Well, I got myself the serious gig, but he signed the contract, and that's when they get their cut. But he actually took me to see the Red Sox clinch against the Cardinals in 2013. So I have to, I just thought I'd throw that in there. But I know enough not to get too cocky, like I said, because once the Yankees get fucking healthy, blah, blah, blah. But we're not healthy either. They saw no Chris Sale. We have no Pedroia. Bogarts missed the first game. I'm just saying we're the best team in baseball, one of the best in the history. You're like, let's go. Let's go to Kevin in Maryland. Says his family was affected by the left and communism in Europe. Very interesting. Kev, how are you?
I'm doing okay, Nick. I'm doing okay. I'm just a little concerned with what's going on here. The way I look at it is this.
Yes.
They're coming around with this. Hey, socialism. We haven't really tried it. It's never been done correctly.
Right.
That is like going up to a black person and saying, "Hey, slavery is really great. That before it wasn't done correctly. We'll do it right this time." It's like going up to a Jew and saying, "Nazism's great. It'll be great for you. We just haven't done it right." When I hear them talk about socialism like this, it makes me insane.
Yeah, you're kind of right. I mean, they took their cues. Like I said, in this movie, Dinesh points out that they were taking their cues from like Southern Democrats and Northern Democrats conspired as far as, the slavery thing. But the Nazis were taking their cues from the Ku Klux Klan. And you're right. The first thing they do is put everybody on a welfare state. That way they can control you. It's so obvious. I'm so tired of pointing this shit out. I don't know how. And people go, you got to look at both sides. One side, I'm sorry to be so fucking right-leaning right now, but one side is so off their fucking rocker. And you said your family was affected by this in Europe, Kev?
Well, yeah, my family was driven out of Albania. Okay.
Oh, lucky you.
They fought the Nazis. Yeah, I know, right? They fought the Nazis. The Nazis burned down my family's farm, and then the communists came along, and they tried to kill my grandparents.
Right.
And I mean, these guys are no joke. I mean, they will make everybody equal. They will make everybody equally dead.
Equally dead, exactly. They won't be happy till we're all, wearing the same clothes, and they're in control of us, controlling our wages and everything else. And it's the fucking, like I said, this weekend, you have so much evidence of that. What's going on in Portland and Antifa, which I love the name, Antifascists. They are the fucking the progressives. The Nazis in Europe were taking their cues from the progressives in America. I mean, go see the movie. You'll love it. Thanks for the call, Kev. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
833-599-6425 is the phone number, and I'll get to I guess Antifa, they were all over the place this weekend. They were in Berkeley yesterday. But before that, last week, where's the goddamn? I had it here. We have it. I don't know. I had one about them being in Berkeley. Maybe I didn't print it out. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But the headlines: Anarchy breaks out in Portland with the mayor's blessing. This was from last week when they targeted the ICE office in Portland. For more than 5 weeks, as many as 200 people had occupied the site to demand ICE's immediate abolition. Now they're gone, but a community is left reeling. A mob surrounded ICE's office in southwest Portland on June 19th. They barricaded the exits, blocked the driveway. They sent guards, in quotes, to patrol the doors, trapping workers inside. At night, they laid on the street, stopping traffic at critical junction near a hospital. Police stayed away. And here's the quote. At this time, I'm denying your request for additional resources, the Portland Police Bureau's Deputy Chief Robert Day wrote to federal officers pleading for help. Hours later, the remaining ICE workers were finally evacuated by a small federal police team. The facility shut down for more than a week. Signs called ICE employees Nazis and white supremacists. Others accused them of... this is just so ironic. It's hilarious. In other words, if you don't agree with our we're gonna surround your building, trap you inside if you don't agree with our politics. Others accused them of running a concentration camp and demanded open borders and prosecution of ICE agents. Along a wall, vandals wrote the names of ICE staff, encouraging others to publish their private information online. Federal workers were defenseless. An ICE officer who asked that his name not be published told me one of his colleagues, meaning the guy who wrote this article, was trailed in a car and confronted when he went to pick his daughter up from summer camp. Later, people showed up at his house. Another had his name and photo plastered on flyers outside his home, accusing him of being part of the Gestapo.
Problem. You're the fucking problem. You fucking Dr. White, onkin jamrag, ucking spunk bubble. I'm telling you, H, you keep looking at me, I'm going to put you in the fucking ground. I promise you. Not this time.
And here's where it gets real interesting. Where was the police? Ordered away by Democratic Mayor Ted Wheeler, who doubles as police commissioner. I smell shit on my upper lip. I do not want the Portland police to be engaged or sucked into a conflict, particularly from a federal agency that I believe is on the wrong track, he tweeted. If ICE is looking for a bailout from this mayor, they're looking in the wrong place. This cocksucker took an oath when he became mayor and got into politics to protect the citizens and whatnot. This guy should be in fucking jail. Trump or Sessions, get off your ass, Sessions, and do something. This is, as my buddy said, who was a cop for 30 years and now a lawyer, this is the law giving the law the finger. And that's what happens in like third world countries, and that's when shit begins to crumble. And if you're not nervous, you're not paying attention. Listen to some of the shit they did. And this was last week. I'm not even getting to what they did when they met with the so-called alt-right this weekend. But Stuart Lindquist, the ICE facility's 79-year-old landlord, visited his property on June 21st. The political powers in the city, he said, of Portland have stopped the police from doing what they normally do. A mob surrounded his car, pounded on his windows. His home address appeared online later on. It's fucking, this is unbelievable. And Republicans are the fascists. And Randy Glary, listen to this. A 52-year-old artist and longtime resident was photographing the camp when he said a group of occupiers knocked his camera into his face. Charles Williams, a 62-year-old man who lived across the street, said someone threatened to stab him with an AIDS-infected needle. From his balcony, he saw thugs begin mass. They had masks on, so you know they're doing shit above the law. Lisa Leonard, listen to this one. This is the one that got me. 53-year-old disabled resident said occupiers hit her on the head, disabled her electric wheelchair, and lifted her in the air when she complained about loud drumming. She called the police, who took a statement but made no arrests. So Ted Wheeler, you fucking cum stain, you. How this guy, whatever. You can do anything you want if you're on that side of the aisle, whether it's fucking Hillary or this guy, defying federal law, not protecting people, because you're putting politics ahead of the citizens you're supposed to protect. Jizzbag. Did I have a clip for that? Go ahead, run it.
I stand with those who are opposed to the forced separation of children from their parents. I've consistently stated that I do not want the Portland Police Bureau engaged in securing federal property that houses a federal agency with its own federal police force.
Is that what you said? By the way, the whole thing about separating kids from family, didn't Trump, right after that happened, the zero tolerance thing, pass an executive order that wouldn't allow that to happen? This guy's he's a fucking rogue mayor. You thought Sarah Palin went rogue. This guy's giving the finger to the federal government and everything. Where's Jeff Sessions, you little fucking midget? Ugh. Who are the fascists? Let's go to Nick in Detroit. I had a Berkeley article. Nick can fill us in. Nick, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing, Nicky boy?
Pretty good.
I guess, these so-called anti-fascists stormed Berkeley, the campuses at Berkeley, and then they broke into like army recruiters' offices and all types of shit.
Yeah, Marines.
They also stormed this Marine office. They also stormed Candace Owens. Candace Owens. I don't know if you don't know who she is.
Yeah,
she's like a
black conservative woman, young, very
smart,
very eloquent,
beautiful.
very smart, very good looking.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely, yeah. And she was at this restaurant with these guys, and then they surrounded the restaurant. They went out and started yelling at her, "No more white supremacy," or something like that. Something that had to do with white supremacy. They're yelling that. The reason I mentioned she's black is they're yelling that at a freaking a black person who's on the right of the freaking center.
Right. They're threatening her.
The freaking the definition of freaking fascism is forcible suppression of opposition and control of industry and commerce. Like it's so ironic. They say they're anti-fascist. That's exactly what they are. They're fascists.
Yeah.
It's either you agree with me or you fucking will destroy your fucking your way of life.
Yeah, they're laying in the streets.
That's ridiculous.
They're laying in the streets, and they're blocking streets to hospitals and blocking and destroying businesses, which is anti-commerce. The last time I checked, and they call themselves
what they are?
Anti-fascists. Yeah, they're brown shirts.
It's so fucking ironic. They're fucking 12-year-old babies. It's like a kid throwing a fit. When they don't get their way, they fucking make a big deal out of something, and they throw a fucking monkey wrench in it just so they can fucking. But when President Obama was in office, we didn't do nothing. No, we went through the proper political channels and we changed the system the way it should be changed. But they don't want to do that. They want to throw a hissy fit like a bunch of fucking babies.
Well, yeah, and they want to tear down the system, like Obama said, remake America. And, he would say that out of one side of his mouth. And the other side, he'd say how much he'd love this country. Well, you don't try to remake something you love, you fucking dope. You meet a bride. Well, you're perfect, exactly. But I'm going to change it. That's what women do to guys.
Stupid. The America that he's trying to remake is the America that allowed him to be elected fucking president, and everybody else don't even fucking see that.
No, I know. You're right. You sound like Nick, I love it. I love the fire in you. Good. Thanks for the call, buddy. And good luck to those Detroit Tigers.
No problem, Nick. I'll talk to you later, buddy. All
right. It is a little ironic, though, isn't it? So this weekend, the alt-right, they call them the alt-right, there's a group called the Patriot Prayer, and they're a right-wing organization, although they're really about God and freedom. And, of course, what does the press do but label them? Oh, but they're associated with neo-Nazis and all this horse shit. That's mentioned in every article. I looked it all up. I couldn't really find the connection. But this guy, Kid Joey Gibson, takes his group. He's the head of the Patriot Prayer Group. And he takes them into Portland like a couple times a year just as a test of free speech to see what happens. And he did it this weekend. Small scuffles broke out on Saturday as police in Portland, Oregon deployed the police got involved. Flashbang devices and other means to disperse hundreds of right-wing and self-described anti-fascist protesters. We got some footage of Portland this weekend. Hey, this is America 2018. It's already happening, fellas. It's coming apart. Ryan, are you celebrating the anarchy?
It is time for the end.
This coming from a 23-year-old kid. I've had enough of this party, and
I've been waiting 23 years for this, man.
I know, but you live in Yonkers, you probably do want to die. This probably was a shot of Yonkers. It was probably a barbecue in the park out there. We got more. Oh, we already showed Ted Wheeler, did we not?
Yeah, I got the Marine recruiting office getting smashed in.
Yeah, show that. This is the anti-fascists at work. Look at that. These got the hammer. You know, when you show up at any function dressed like that, first of all, you could be a woman from the Middle East, or you could be an Antifa guy. But when you show up like that, you must be doing shit above board, right? With your face covered and again, hate to break it down to left. Oh, these are just anarchists that were busting. Either way, they're fucking, they're for anarchy. They want to replace our system. And Dinesh is right, man. We're at a crossroads here. That's why I went out and bought a beautiful musket last night. It shoots jello shots. Demonstrators aligned with Patriot Prayer and affiliated group, the Proud Boys, gathered around midday in the riverfront. See, they go in, it's like trolling in person. The Patriot Boys and the Proud Boys, they go in and to hotbeds like Portland, left-wing hotbeds, progressive hotbeds, just to draw these people out. And you could see, people could say, well, those are just anarchists. They come in, they get busted in by Soros, blah, blah, blah. Well, Ted Wheeler, the fucking mayor, as you saw how he reacted in the last clip, he doesn't want the cops involved. He's all for this horse shit. They chanted, Nazis go home. It's so fucking funny. The counter-protesters, which is Antifa, were made up of a coalition of labor unions, immigrant rights, in other words, anybody who votes Democrat, immigrant rights activists, advocates, Democratic Socialists and other groups. They included people dressed as clowns. Well, that's apropos. And a brass band blaring the music. The rally, organized by Patriot Play leader Joey Gibson, was the third to Royal Portland this summer. 2 previous events ended in bloody fistfights and riots. And one counter-protester was sent to the hospital with a skull fracture. Well, good. This time, Gibson changed the venue from a federal plaza outside. You can tell by this article that this guy's actually for Antifa. Gibson changed it to a federal plaza outside U.S. District Court to a waterfront park, so some of his Oregon supporters could carry concealed weapons as they demonstrate. They wouldn't need them if Antifa didn't show up with bars and sticks and fucking. You believe what you want to believe. You can go do your fucking research, but Gibson's insistence on bringing his supporters repeatedly to this liberal city has crystallized a debate about the limits of free speech in an era of stark political division. Patriot Prayer also held rallies in many other cities around the U.S., including Berkeley, California, that drew violent reactions. So good. There's your evidence right there. There's your evidence right there. It's about freedom of speech. Whether it's Alex Jones, whether it's Joey Gibson and the Patriot Prayers or the Proud Boys. I don't know. I'm telling you, the movie couldn't be more timely. Let's go to Jim in Indiana. Liberal hypocrisy and Hank Williams calling Obama Hitler. What's up, Jim?
Yeah, I was listening to that podcast, your radio show with Artie, and I couldn't believe, I forgot why they took his song off of Monday Night Football. He calls Obama just a Nazi, and he loses that.
Yeah, that's right. And which was actually a pretty accurate description if you look into what Obama believes in, the community organizer.
Right.
And putting everybody on welfare and causing civil unrest, whether it was Baltimore or whatnot. It's that's why I can't stress go to see this movie enough. They were taking the same cues from, and this Gentili guy, this fucking Italian that was in prison, he was behind a lot of this stuff. But you say the lie, tell a big lie, say it loud, say it often, people will believe it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'll tell you what, I admire you as a comedian, because you speak your mind, you don't bullshit, you say what is the truth. And I'm going to tell you something. I hate Colbert. I hate Baldwin. I hate that South African guy. Anybody, it's so easy to go after a president and say he's a jerk. Say something funny. Steve Bridges imitated
Bush.
Imitated Bush, and it was hysterical. I saw you guys laughing at that, and
that guy was
he
brilliant.
Was cracking everybody because he was funny.
Yeah,
it was funny. These guys aren't funny.
not to you and I. And no, I agree. Even Kimmel came out and said enough of this, anti-Trump shit. It's getting tired. A few of them came out, but the ratings. Stephen Colbert grabbed that brass ring. If you remember, he was the first out of the box to shit on Trump, and his ratings went through the roof. So all the Pied Pipers fucking followed in line. Even Jimmy Fallon. Right. And I know these guys. Yep. I know these guys personally. They're they're actually good guys. And Fallon was the last to crack. Yeah. But it's about the bottom line of TV is the bottom line. So they saw what Colbert was doing. They started chasing him. But you're right. I mean, comedians are tired of it. Like even young comics I talk to, they go to open mics and amateur nights, and they go, "That's all it is dick jokes and Trump jokes. It's so fucking tiring." And it's the same punching bag. You know what it's like? It's like when we do a roast. Go ahead.
Well, I'm saying I was going to go off on a tangent here. When we were growing up, I'm 65.
Yep.
So when we grew up in high school, we played knockout. You remember the game knockout? Well, where you get 3 volleyballs, you would knock the guy out. But how we played, when you got knocked out, you went to the outer circle and still threw the ball. I mean, and now this is all eliminated.
Well, that's so funny because that's the difference between that's a perfect example of the difference between Canada and the United States. The knockout game here was young urban fellas sneaking up and sucker punching white people on the sidewalk, and that was one of my most popular tweets. Hillary was speaking at a black event with some black people behind her, and I said, "What a perfect time for the knockout game." And But Canada does it with volleyballs. We do it with fists over here. Good call, Matt. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it, Jonathan.
Okay.
Take care. Did I just hang up on the wrong guy? Ooh, sound effects. But I don't want to get too preachy, folks, but I'm just saying, is it fucking obvious? How can you fucking look at Kamala Harris and whoever else is running out there? How can you look at the crap that's coming out of her mouth? Now identity politics. That's a dirty word. She was on spewing how when the right says identity politics, that's really code for racist and blah, blah, blah. It's like you can't say globalist if you're a right-winger. That really means Jew. I mean, where do they come up with this shit? Honestly. I got a couple of globalists working for me right here. Yes, Ryan, go ahead.
I thought about a joke and then it was just shit.
Go ahead, say it anyways. We love when you throw one and it fucking misses the plate by 3 feet. Go ahead.
No, I was
The longer you wait, the unfunnier it's going to get. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that the earth is round. That's all.
How's that a joke? The earth is round, so is my mother's tits. What's the point? Well, they used to be. Now it's more like, when they remember the people believed that the earth was flat. Mom, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ma. I didn't mean that. I know you're not watching because you just learned how to work the fucking remote 3 years ago. But say the planet is round, meaning what, Ryan?
No, whenever I think of the word globalist, I remember I used to hear Alex Jones say globalist and flat earth in like the same sentence. And that's why I had them connected, but then I was like, that's wrong.
Well, people on the left, like Bill Hicks, a great comedian, a left-winger, by the way, one of my favorite comics of all time, because I can laugh at the other side. But I remember him saying that. He was talking about the right and how they're wrong politically and blah, blah, blah. Last time I checked, the earth was round. In other words, we're all connected, I guess, is what he meant. And I guess that's what he meant. I don't know. But the point is, the whole weekend, they're in Berkeley breaking the, Marine office. We assign up recruitment, busting the glass, and causing all kinds of havoc. And it's kind of scary that Trump might be our Lincoln. Lincoln was a little more eloquent, but
7 years ago.
I know. Trump would be like, 4 fucking miles down the street. The line's 4 miles long to get in here, but the fake news will not show you it. Go ahead, turn the cameras around, you motherless fucks. It's the best I could come up with. But he has the same balls. Dinesh D'Souza said he can take a punch. He's not afraid of content, and that's the truth. Can you imagine if he stopped tweeting like the dickheads told him to? Are you ready for some football? Oh, I might as well not sing that. I can play it. I really am not ready. All right, Hank, relax. I didn't watch the Hall of Fame game. I'm a football. Look, I played it in. I played Pee Wees. I played high school. I played at college, University of Maine. It's still my favorite sport. But they are really doing their best to turn me the fuck off, and a lot of other people, because the ratings were in the toilet. And it wasn't just about taking a knee. It's about taking, again, a lot of the violence out of the game. I guess the Hall of Fame game, they're trying to make it even safer. The new rule with a helmet now is if you hit anybody with your helmet, whether it's in the thigh or the hip, they're going to throw a flag. And I don't understand why they don't understand that your head's attached to your shoulders. So I guess the Hall of Fame game, there were four flags. A couple of them were, I guess, the first two were understandable. Look, I understand you don't leave your feet like a missile, because you will kill somebody eventually. Like I said, these aren't Frank Gifford's New York Giants in the 50s, where the pulling guard weighed 112 pounds like a supermodel with fucking legs like Twiggy. These guys, strong safeties are 6'3", 240, running 4.4 40s. That's like getting hit by a fucking car. And somebody is going to... I understand not launching with a crown of your helmet under somebody's chin. And what I understand that. But now, if you lead with your head at any time, and two of the calls were so-so, but then there were two real dog shit calls. Let's take a look at what they flagged.
Let's take a look. Lower his head. Oh, helmet on the arm, shoulder area.
Oh. Helmet made contact first.
Looked like his head was up a bit, though.
Can you imagine? He made contact with his shoulder into the guy's chest. And unfortunately, your head is attached to your shoulder. So there's going to be a little contact. I'm serious. Take the helmets off the guys if that's where you want to go with it. If that's where we're headed. But if you call that, nobody's going to watch football. Nobody. It's the reason I started. I fell in love with Jack Tatum. That's how horrible a person I am. It's the guy that paralyzed Darryl Stingley. But I love the Oakland Raiders, how vicious their defensive backs were in the 70s. And I'm not saying he used the crown of his head, but he paralyzed Darryl Stingley. I'm saying take that out of the game. But you start taking this shit out, like somebody said on Twitter, some writer said, you might as well eliminate the strong safety spot or the free safety. That's why I fell in love with the friggin' game. That's what I played in. I was a monster/strong safety, which is a hybrid in high school. And that's why I fell in love with football. Everybody did, with those hits over the middle. By the way, when a guy goes to catch a pass, he's defenseless every time. When you have your eyes on the ball and you're not paying attention, you are, under the definition, defenseless. Okay, so that was a dog shit call. Let's see what else. There was another one, too. Look at this one.
No, it's helmet.
Well,
it's helmet. It's helmet. Even Chris...
I hate to say it, but...
Yeah, let it go ahead. Let Chris Collins.
The way it was described to me, all right, was that if you lower your head... Now, if he hits him with a face mask, no problem. If you hit him with a much broader area than what it was last year, it wasn't just the very...
That's it. You don't hit with your... You're supposed to hit with your head up so you don't break your neck, by the way. So, you know, it's actually you're providing safety on both parts. The guy getting hit and the guy making the tackle. Because the few people that have been paralyzed had their heads down. But you don't... You know what I mean? When you're going 100 miles an hour and your head is attached to your shoulder, even if you drill somebody with your shoulder, you're going to bang heads. If they're going to throw flags, seriously, you want to see... You thought the audience, the numbers went down last year? Why are we trying to ruin everything that I love in this country? Why? Everything I love. Free speech. Guns. Helmet on helmet contact. Not in the shower. After. But, I mean, for Christ's sake. What the fuck is going on? And here's my final point on this. And this is how you fix it, NFL. Goodell, are you listening? You $44 million a year mamaluke. You know how the cigarette companies, back in the 60s, I think it was, they put a warning saying this is bad for you. It'll kill you. That's all you have to do, NFL. And I'm sure they already have something. You say, guys, you play this game at your own risk. We've already dedicated billions of dollars to CTE research and concussions, but now you're on your own. This is a dangerous game. You can get hurt really bad, But knowing that, we're going to let you play the way you want to play. But we live in such a litigious society, that wouldn't even be enough, right? But it's like this. Everybody's known cigarettes for years will kill you. Everybody should know that football could cause brain damage or paralysis if played right. Woo! But do you get my drift? Everybody knows the risks. So why should it all be on the NFL? Again, it's a money ploy. Sign a paper right there. It should be it should be a piece of paper with a guy in a wheelchair, another guy, eating through a tube in his neck, saying this could happen to you. Do you still want to play? Big check mark. And then we're like, okay, when it happens, when there's a vicious hit, you're like, they knew the risks, which they do anyways. But you're going to ruin it. You are going to ruin. It's taking that big hit out of the game. And again, you don't have to leave your feet like a missile, but you take that out of the game. It's like taking the home run out of baseball, the knockout out of boxing, which eventually they're going to do. Between these suburban housewives who vote Democrat and the fucking lawyers, between the two, they'll get it done. Anything that's a whiff of testosterone, a whiff of Americana, will be eliminated. I don't know what that means. But who watches the Hall of Fame game? I mean, I'm a football fanatic, but Jesus H. The new rule formulated by the NFL's rulemaking competition committee and ratified by the owners at the annual league meeting makes it a penalty for any player to lower his head to initiate a hit on an opponent with his helmet. Players can also be ejected from the game and the country, or disciplined by the league with a fine or suspension for egregious violations of the rule. Hey, see if you can pull up the Darryl Stingley, Jack Tatum. I was watching this game. This was in the late 70s. It was a preseason game. The Patriots were at Oakland. And Jack Tatum, who was one of the most vicious defensive backs ever to play the game, I remember Steve Grogan threw a ball over the middle, hung Darryl Stingley out to dry, and you couldn't really see the hit, but you could hear it. You could see them, and it was helmet on helmet. And I understand. I'm bringing this up because I understand you want to take that out of it. But you can't take when a guy drills somebody. Are you guys just guessing?
Life of Jack Tatum.
That wasn't it. But no, go ahead. Let Tatum. This is the
On Sunday, I became what they call the assassin. I was just a tough guy. I was the sheriff in the Raider secondary.
For 9
Watch
seasons,
this.
Jack Tatum was the most intimidating player on the most intimidating team. He was a safety with linebacker size and cornerback speed, a combination that produced bone-jarring blows.
A Jack Tatum hit meant that you make a catch, you're going to pay for it. And how you pay for it,
that was my idol in high school.
A big hit.
He was a feared player because he was coming to knock you out. He played football with bad intention.
Let's see if you can fast forward. They're going to show the Stingley anyways. Ooh, that was it. That was it. You guys, you're right around it. Yeah, right there.
Grogan will put it in the air. Oh, the intended receiver is Darryl Stingley. The man he ran into was Jack Tatum, and Stingley was down.
It was a play that you make.
Horrible. And you knew before he hit the ground. But I understand taking that part out of it, But even that, he led with his Stingley had his head down. And I'm just saying, don't go too far with it. You're going to, anybody with me? A couple guys at home going, A couple guys who played like in the 70s. No, I kind of disagree. I think you should be wearing earmuffs and scarves. Don't ruin the game, please. Finally tonight, let's end it with a little more political. Well, I should take a call, actually. Raphael wanted to talk about Alex Jones and censorship in Jacksonville. Raphael, what's going on?
Hey, Nick. I'm doing fine. How are you?
Pretty good.
Yeah, I just wanted to get your take on Alex Jones basically being purged from, social media.
Well, I brought it up at the beginning of the show, and Alex Jones has some. He's a conspiracy theorist, and some of his stuff I think has merit, and some of it I think I'm like, this guy isn't like the Sandy Hook shit is where he lost me a little bit, but that doesn't matter whether I agree with his theory. The point is he has the right to put him out there, does he not? And they're saying that's not why.
Absolutely.
But they're saying, Google's saying that's not why we booted him. He streams on other things live where he got this 90-day ban, yet he's streaming on other places during that ban, which he's not supposed to do. I think that's why Facebook gave him the hook or whatever. They're saying that's the reason. But I think it was Spotify, was it, that said it was because of his the way he refers to Muslims and immigrants, and that's where we get into a dicey area. You have every right to refer to anybody the way you fucking want. I mean, again, this whole hate speech thing is a bunch of shit. It's either free speech or it isn't. So they're trying to shut him down. And like I said, I don't agree with everything he says. Some of it seems really wild to me. But one man's truth is another man's crazy. We're going to have fucking Zuckerberg and guys at Google and Jack Dorsey at Twitter deciding what's real and what's... Right now they're deciding what's hate and what's not hate. Now they're going to tell you what's real news and what's fake. And we all know how they voted. They fucking lean left. We all know where this is headed. Go see Dinesh D'Souza's movie and he explains it perfectly.
Yeah, I know. I saw it in theaters when it came out, and I was just wondering, if you're scared it might happen to you.
It's already happened to me. I get booted. I get booted off radio for a tweet, ostensibly for a tweet, and if it wasn't for that, it was for they didn't like maybe the tone of. I don't know. My contract was up. I've talked about this many times. But I've already been the experience of that. And then months later, I was sucker punched after a show. While I was distracted, some girl sucker punched me who thought my show was racist or sexist or whatever the fuck. So I'm experiencing shit firsthand. But Patreon, I think I'm not doing. I'm not overtly racist. Never was on Sirius or anywhere else. I hope they can. Again, that's the fine line. I hope they know the difference between a white guy who's just speaking what he thinks is the truth about race, but then they're so quick to label it. If they don't agree with it, they'll label it hate. So yeah, to answer your question, I am a little nervous here and there, but I'm hoping Patreon is fairer than most places.
Right. But Alex Jones was never overtly racist. He just said one too many things that they didn't agree with, and they 86'd him. And I'm concerned about Anthony too.
Wait a minute.
He has
Al Sharp.
Show.
Wait a minute. Al Sharpton, who 86'd him?
Whoever they are, they 86'd him.
Well, Sharpton's a race baiter. Go look at his history. He cost people their lives up in Harlem at a Korean store, and he's done a lot of shit. Maybe then MSNBC hires him. There's the difference. There's the double standard. And, the other thing, thanks for the call, by the way. Appreciate it, Raphael. The other thing in the movie, this guy, what's his name, Richard Spencer, he's always the alt-right guy who has Nazi leanings, and he's supposed to be a racist and shit. Dinesh D'Souza has a one-on-one with him and really digs deep into his political philosophy, and he's a fucking socialist. And he sounds super gay, yet he's the face of the far alt-right, racist, bigoted movement. And once Dinesh D'Souza asked him questions that Chuck Todd would never ask him, or any of these journalists, once he dug a little deeper at what he believed in politically, he was almost a socialist. Anyhow, I personally, I'm not even people label me a conservative. I'm not even, and I know Colin Quinn went through the same thing. After a while, you go, you get tired of going, I'm not a conservative. And I'm probably more of a libertarian. I just want fucking government to leave us alone. Let people do shit long as it's not hurting other people. Well, which is what most people want. Except for the douchebags on the left that want to control you, want to provide you health care and everything out cradle to grave so they can be in your personal shit and tax the living shit out of you. Confiscate everything that you earn almost. How the fuck can you vote for that in 2018? How? By the way, Chicago this weekend, there was 68 shot, 10 dead. That's right, I said Chicago. I didn't say Kabul. Chicago. Under Rahm Emanuel, another Democrat-run city. Sort of like San Francisco, where you can step in human shit up to your waist and dirty needles. Sort of like Baltimore. You know, are you getting the... Yonkers. Who runs Yonkers? Right.
Is it some guy named Mike Spano? I'm not sure.
Mike Spano? Sounds like one of my people. Probably crooked as the day is long. Anyhow. I guess I went off on a tangent. I guess I'll save this for tomorrow. Or I'll go into it. I got time. Chuck Todd. This is the headline. Trump's dehumanizing tweet on press is rationalizing violence. Sunday on NBC's Meet the Press, Chuck Todd accused President Trump of dehumanizing, that's in quotes, the press, and added it made violence against the press easier to rationalize for some. He's such a fucking...
Liar, whore, and you know it.
Excuse me. The president tweeted, "The fake news hates me, saying that they are the enemy of the people only because they know it's true. I am providing a great service by explaining this to the American people," which he is. "They purposely cause great division and distrust. They can also cause war. They are very dangerous and sick." And Chuck Todd's afraid because people are going to believe the truth about the media. That's Chuck, and that's Jim Acosta. That's Rachel, the Adam's apple Maddow. The truth is, you are lying cocksuckers, and it didn't happen. It didn't start when Trump became president. You've been lying in airports on CNN since I was an open micer and flying around the country. And how about when you cherry pick stories like racial incidents? Every time there's an incident where there's a black victim and a white cop or whatever, and you blow that out of proportion and you report, hands up, don't shoot. And all that horseshit, what turns out to be a lie. How about when you cherry pick stories to create the illusion that white cops are gunning down black men? All that. You think that puts cops' lives in danger and shit? You fuck stains. Now you're getting it, and you've been doing it for years. For years. It didn't start when Trump became president. I don't think he's calling you out enough. How about that? Watch Rachel Maddow when Trump won the presidency. Or just watch Hillbilly fucking Eyes. What's his name? Joe Scarborough. Saying the president is unhinged and it's a constitutional crisis. You don't think that, It's funny. Somebody shot a congressman last year on a baseball field. That's right. Who? That's right. It was Steve Scalise, a Republican. The guy that did the shooting said, are those guys Republicans out there? I wonder how he got to that mindset. Chuck Todd. Boy, they live in a bubble. They're like that Seinfeld episode, The Kid in the Bubble. Remember? Neither one of you? Really?
Seinfeld's too edgy for our generation, remember?
That's right. Who was the voice in the bubble? I forget. But who the fuck was it? Was it Larry David, I think? And a woman comes in the room, and the boy in the bubble, he's supposed to be sick. He goes, "Take off your top." Anyways, but the press, you've put people in danger from the military to giving away the New York Times releasing military secrets and now it's coming back. This guy, fucking Trump's pointing the finger back at you, and you don't like it. And how about the ICE? How about the ICE agents whose names are being put online and where they live and being harassed and stuff because of reporting like CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, NBC. And now, yeah, you're going to catch some shit. Jim Acosta's life was in danger at a Trump rally. Oh, somebody called him chubby and, started crying. Anyways, labeling Trump and anybody who votes for him Nazis and bigots, that doesn't put anybody's lives in danger. Lick my salty bag. All right, that's it. I got to take a break. Go up and take a shower, put on my tuxedo, head into the Comedy Cellar. If you're around. Anything else? That's about it. This is the free show. People, by the way, a lot of people moved up since we changed the prices. People have jumped from Fredo to Sunny, $4.99 to $9.99. And again, we can only do that stuff because you guys made the premiere so successful. And people are still signing up. We had a nice run since August 1st. I couldn't be more excited. I won't leave this house in a few years. I'll be down here in my late hundreds going, listen, what happened to the Twinks? Oh, they're in their 50s now. They actually got married and moved away. Was it girls? Anyways, I don't know what I'm talking about. Now I'm babbling. Yeah, I want to end it on this because I got Chuck Todd and I got a couple more I'll save tomorrow. That's it. Remember, you guys think it. I will say it. You're very welcome. And come out to the Comedy Cellar and other places. All right? I love you guys. You know that. If you don't believe me, my buddy Lee will tell you.
I love you for helping me to construct of my life, not a tavern, but a temple.
Look at the girl getting in there.
I love you because you have done so much to make me happy. You have done it without a word, without a touch, without a sign. You have done it by just being yourself.
This is Raven's training camp.
After all, that is what love means.
Killing it.
That is why